Welcome to KRWG Public Media's Election 2025 Candidate Forum for Las Cruces City Council District 6. I'm Casey Counts. We've teamed up with the League of Women Voters of Southern New Mexico for this forum, and Julie Wojtko is joining me as co-moderator. Candidates for Las Cruces City Council are Tommy Black, Ramona Bataneant, who was unable to join us due to a scheduling conflict at the last minute, John Muñoz, and Richard Reynaud. Rules for the forum are that each candidate has 60 seconds to answer each question, and candidates should not mention their opponents by name. Candidates are in the order they'll appear on the ballot and will each have a chance to answer first. The first question will go to Tommy Black from Julie Wojtko.
Question starts with you, Mr. Black. What skills and experience from your background have prepared you for representing constituents in District 6?
Well, I think the first one would be that I'm a father of two girls. So to handle two girls, you got to have some skills. Second of all, I spent 11 years in the United States Army. Of course, I was a staff sergeant in the United States Army, and I also led my troops to war. And I always felt like if I could fight for my country, I definitely could fight for my city. So, and then I've also owned a couple of businesses, so that's the reason I think I can stand here and do what I need to do for my constituents.
Thank you. Mr. Muñoz?
I've had the opportunity and the privilege to manage tens of thousands of employees throughout my career. I've as well managed multi-million-dollar budgets, and so I think those skills will help me navigate through the city process. In Las Cruces, I have volunteered with several nonprofits and have also led some of those nonprofits very successfully. So I think given the network, some of the skills that I have, some of the abilities with budget and to staff properly, I believe I'm qualified for this position.
Thank you. Mr. Reynaud, did you need the question again?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Mr. Reynaud, what skills and experience from your background have prepared you for representing constituents in District 6?
Okay, in my career at the White Sands Missile Range, I was at the Climatic and Dynamic Effects Lab. I was the supervisor. I was at the temperature test facility, which had the largest temperature test facility in the world at that time during the 90s. So I was the leader, I was lead engineer, but it was the people there that did it. It was about 10 or 11 people that ran the site. And also there I learned about electrical energy. We used massive amounts of energy. We had a 1 megawatt boiler. And in fact, the DPW, Department of Public Works at White Sands, told us, let us know when you're gonna turn your stuff on. So when something happens and you have to turn everything on at 2 in the morning, El Paso Electric down the road, the Newman Power Center, they use natural gas boilers to back us up because nothing else will work. Wind won't work, solar won't work. And so that's how I've kind of learned about backup power. It related to the Jupiter project also. What kind of backup are they going to use? They won't say yet.
All right, our second question goes first to candidate Muñoz. If elected, what are your top priorities?
The top of mind right now is community safety. That's important. It's important to me. It's important that residents feel safe, that they also feel that their property is safe. I believe that could be handled in various ways by staffing the first responders correctly, helping out with behavioral health support system and substance abuse cessation programs. Those are very, very key. And I think that umbrella can also work with our unhoused. First of all, I want to stress that being unhoused is not a crime. It is absolutely an awful thing to go through, but I believe with that umbrella and a task force that I want to create, I believe we can tackle both of these issues effectively in Las Cruces.
Mr. Reynaud, same question to you. If elected, what are your top priorities?
Like John, my top priority is going to be public safety. And also the homeless, bringing them in from camping out in town everywhere. There's 3 homeless people along East Lowman in my district, and they just come in out from camping behind the dam, stand on the street corner all day. There's no training, there's no mental health counseling. You know, they're just there, they're just treading water, you know. So I'm backing a plan that would bring the homeless to one place in Las Cruces. All the homeless would be at one place where they could be watched, where they could get counseling, they can get drug treatment, and move on to other things. but they don't need to be camping around out town. And the other thing is the shoplifting problem. They're still walking in and out of Dollar Generals and walking right out like they did 4 years ago that I witnessed. So that's another big problem too.
All right. Mr. Black, if elected, what are your top priorities?
Well, I actually have a multitude of top priorities. Of course, my first one would be public safety. Second one I would do, I'm looking out for the children and trying to get more programs for our youth. The third would actually be getting programs for the homeless. But I think if we do the program for the homeless and for the youth, I think entail that will also help the public safety. Once we get the kids off the street and we'll also get the homeless off the street, and then that's less inclined for different crimes to happen in town. So I'm going to vacuum all of those together as soon as I get elected.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
The third question starts with you, Mr. Reynaud. On the topic of public safety, what role does the City Council play in creating a safer community, and what efforts do you plan to pursue to that end?
Okay, the City Council and the Mayor need to be backing the police. The police need to know that they have 6 people and a mayor behind them. One of the quick things to do is bring the police department staffing up. They're about 20 down. We went to a briefing a couple of weeks ago, and that's down. They're roughly, from all sources, they're down about 60 4 years ago, 200 down to 140. So staffing is a big thing. The more police on the streets, the less crime.
Okay. Mr. Black, same question. On the topic of public safety, what role does City Council play in creating a safer community, and what efforts do you plan to pursue to that end?
Well, I totally agree. We need to back the police department as best as we can. Of course, if they need equipment, we need to give them equipment, which of course will help them. But also as the City Council, we also need to show effort in being boots on the ground where we get out there and we talk more to our constituents, because it's easy to look at statuses, but it's also easy to go out and talk to the people and to see exactly what's going on with them. And then they'll let you formulate a plan, so when you do have a meeting with the police department, y'all can come up with a good plan, and then y'all can make the effort to move forward to make sure that everybody's safe.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Muñoz, same question. On the topic of public safety, what role does City Council play in creating a safer community, and what efforts do you plan to pursue to that end?
Well, absolutely. The police need to be funded properly. You need to have the equipment, the right tools needed for law enforcement. I think the other piece that is also very important is listening to our experts. They're boots on the ground. They know what's going on, what's working. I mean, I have ideas. We all have ideas as candidates. I think it's important to listen to our experts to see what they need. They do the best that they can with what they have. Really, we should give them our best with what they need. The same goes for listening to our constituents. They're going through this. Those that go through crime or an incident are 100% affected. This is no criticism on the police. They're doing their best, and they're changing some numbers, but those individual folks that are affected, we need to help them out as well.
Next question goes first to Mr. Black. How can Las Cruces City Council positively impact housing needs in the community?
You mean the short housing?
Housing needs
well,
in general.
I'll be honest with you. The work they've already been doing, I think it's a great job. I mean, if you see all the housing that's going up. But like I said, once again, with me, I think a little different. I think we can impact it a little different if we start working our butts off to start bringing more jobs in here where people are getting more pay. I mean, because affordable homes are okay, but when do we start making attainable homes so people can actually own their homes? And you know what I'm saying? Then what do? We're creating generational wealth. So my goal would be to try to bring more jobs in here so we can start building attainable homes, but also working with affordable homes.
Mr. Muñoz?
I'd like to look at fees or different processes that are artificially driving the cost of homes up. There's some good work with mixed development, with housing, but I'd like to look at that to see if there's some way to reduce that for families and young professionals or young adults who want to get into homes. The other piece that I would support is, for example, mixed use downtown. Bringing families there or young adults or couples will be just will be a benefit to the merchants that are there, to the nonprofits, to the museums, and I think that's important. The other piece that I would say that is important to look at is also job creation. So sustainable jobs, jobs that pay well, jobs that keep families in their homes.
All right. Mr. Reynaud?
Okay, could you
Repeat the question? Sure. How can Las Cruces City Council positively impact housing needs in the community?
One thing they can do is listen more to the people. There was the housing plan that came out, and we're trying. A lot of residents were working hard to get a petition to move it to November to vote then, because sometimes people in the suburbs, and you move in a subsidized housing unit, it does devalue the land. North of Highway 70. A guy from the county was in and he needed a permit from me. He was talking about nearby city land that's going to devalue his property in the county. When you get too much subsidization of housing, they don't own it. Nobody owns it. They don't take care of it. So that's something that you have to look at. I don't like the term affordable housing, because who determines if it's affordable? The city, and they're not housing experts. So.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Muñoz, the next question starts with you. How do you plan to address or improve transparency in our city government?
Absolutely, I think that's important. We've talked about listening. I think that's super important. I want to hold more town hall meetings and do outreach with my district. I hear it knocking doors, talking to different people. I hear about weeds. I hear about streets that need to be repaired. And actually, 82 miles of streets in Las Cruces need to be repaired. They're in disrepair right now. So that's important. But I believe in sharing the information, even if we have to slow down a little bit and re-explain something before it's pushed through, I think is important. So just having a really strong conversation, being open. Sometimes we'll get feedback that I may or may not disagree with it, but I think that's important for my constituents.
Thank you. Mr. Reynaud, same question. How do you plan to address or improve transparency in city government?
One bit of transparency that is needed more is the transition to natural gas that Las Cruces is doing, or they're intending to do. And what people don't realize is Las Cruces pay more from El Paso Electric than people living in El Paso, Texas. It's due to the mini Green New Deal and things like that. So that would be something to notify the people. It's all electric, and you're going to pay more. So that's a piece of transparency that's needed. So.
Thank you. Same question, Mr. Black.
One more time.
How do you plan to address or improve transparency in city government?
Well, it all starts with trust. First thing, they got to be able to trust us and respect us, which goes both ways. One thing that I will change, and I'm going to ask if I can, I don't agree with the city hall, town hall meetings being at 1 p.m. on a Monday, because you got so many people that's at work that can't attend. So if we're doing it for the constituents, we should do whatever we can do to make sure that they will be able to attend. And then also we need to have more town halls in our district. And that's how we will find out exactly what's going on with the people in our district. So it all comes down to respect and communication. If we respect and we communicate the people that we're working for, I think it'll be a little more transparent. They can trust us even more.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Right, next question begins with Mr. Reynaud. What are some ways you believe City Council can support economic development?
One idea that I brought up the other night was lowering the gross receipts tax to about 7.5, the way it is in Rio Rancho. There's a piece of the gross receipts tax, it's about 3.5 that Las Cruces takes. The state takes some in the county. And we're just not seeing much benefit for all the money they're spending. I have some numbers here. Our budget is now $67 million more than it was 4 years ago. $67 million, and they're spending about that much more money every year, and I don't see that much benefit. So sometimes the more they spend on economic development, kind of the worse it gets. And when you subsidize rents and apartments, that's what raises the price. And that's what's been going on the last 4 years. They're talking about unaffordable housing, and part of it was caused by them. I had a friend who got moved out of a house at the end of his rent, and they moved somebody else in for more rent.
That's time. All right. Mr. Black?
Well, first thing we have to do, again, is put everything on the table. And we got to be smart. We're smart with our spending. If I think about, let's say, the new project that they're making on Amador, we spent $15.7 million, but there's only 50 rooms up in there. So, which is equivalent to what, $300 and some thousand per room. I don't think that's smart, and I don't think that's what's helping bring stuff in. And I remember a long time ago when I first moved here, there was so many extra activities that used to come into town that was helping with the money, i.e. the whole Enchilada Fest. You know, we had stuff like that, then we had money coming in. Now with no money coming in, guess who has to pay for it? The people in the area. So I think if we all start sitting down and we all start doing this very smartly, then we can start noticing there's going to be more stuff coming to town, which we need to attract, and it's also less burden on the people that live in town.
All right, thank you. Mr. Muñoz?
As a city, I think we can be more user-friendly. I have had the opportunity to create jobs. Those jobs have been documented. There have been articles. There have been stories. I've had a wonderful time and a fun job in creating jobs because I see the impact that has on families and careers. I'd like to work closely with the economic development team. I'd like to work with other organizations like Mavita to recruit companies here. This is, sometimes, we're hard on ourselves in Las Cruces. I'm proud of where I live. I love the people that are around me. Now, granted, there are issues that we need to address, but this is a great place. When I look at the map, we don't have blizzards, we don't have typhoons or hurricanes, we don't have tornadoes. The weather is wonderful. We feel it, today has been a beautiful day. I know we can recruit people here. As a city, we need to be open to that. We need to be user-friendly.
Thank you.
The next question starts with you, Mr. Black. What role do you believe the city should play in sustainability and the use of alternative energies? Excuse me.
Wow, I think we should be forefront. But see, I'm sort of mixed on that one because I know we're trying to be a smart city, but if I'm not wrong, most of the electricity comes from gas. And what we don't need to do is have the people that already have the gas stoves in their house and say, you know what, we're going to turn to an electric city and take all this stuff out. So we have to be reasonable when we move forward with that. Plus, like I said, once again, we need to talk to the people. We need to talk to the constituents and get what they think. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, all of us are coming together to try to make this thing happen. So that would be one of my goals.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Muñoz, the same question. What role do you believe the city should play in sustainability and the use of alternative energies?
I think it makes sense to have a diverse approach to energy sources, whether it's fossil fuels, whether it's solar, whether it's electricity. I think that makes sense, and we need to do that in a prudent way. When you talk about affordable housing earlier, if it's an electric house, of course it's going to be less because you don't have the infrastructure, right? Some folks want gas. If that's their choice, okay, so you want gas. But there are options. I think it also makes sense from a business perspective, from a revenue perspective, to look at the impacts so that we can plan out what, if there are more homes that are going electric, what impact that will have on gas revenues. So I think that's just really the smart thing to do. But definitely, if we can have more efficient buildings with the city, we're one of the largest users, and have efficient vehicles, that makes sense to me.
Okay, thank you. Same question, Mr. Reynaud. What role do you believe the city should play in sustainability and the use of alternative energies?
Okay, I think sustainability is a weird word. It used to be called recycling or thrifty. It's kind of a fancy word now. It's a UN word. Anyway, for energy, it should be all of the above, whatever makes sense. Growing up here in Las Cruces, when you're a young couple, you pick natural gas for cooking and this for electric for this and that. And I've always done that, and people in Las Cruces have always done that. I don't think they should just cut off all options like they've already done in certain subdivisions. So I would just say just all of the above, whatever makes the best economic sense. And natural gas is really clean burning too. I don't know why the demonization of natural gas. It's so that's the way I feel. All of the above.
Thank you.
Our next question goes first to Mr. Muñoz. How should city leaders be preparing for and responding to possible federal funding cuts?
That goes back to budgeting. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, there's about $25 million dollars from ARPA, and then about 1.5 million for sustainability work, which, you know, some of that has trickled in. So so when we're looking at the budget, if there are cuts, as a city, we need to be to respond to that and look at what are the major needs, whether it's working on community safety, working on behavioral health, which is needed. Right now, there are 2 behavioral health professionals to every 1,000 people in Las Cruces. It takes 6 to 8 weeks, if that, to get an appointment, and we have a behavioral crisis right now in Las Cruces that we need to address.
Thank you. Mr. Reynaud? Question?
Yes.
How should city leaders be preparing for and responding to possible federal funding cuts?
The city is sitting on a lot of money, and so they could make up where it makes sense. So we're going to see decisions made, and I just don't like perhaps the amount of federal help, and all of a sudden it's all going to go away, and then this guy's to blame. But we just need to learn to live within our means.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Black?
Well, it goes back to something we was talking about earlier with the economic development, when I was talking about getting people better jobs where they really don't have to rely on the federal. But then the question nobody asks when it comes down to this, what exactly are we doing with the dispensary money? Shouldn't the dispensary money be coming in and helping to subsidize for some of these things that we have missing? And if we got, and like, you know, he said earlier, we're sitting on a whole bunch of money. So we should come up with plans. And as I say, we should learn how to be in this situation. Let's be proactive instead of being reactive. And that way our constituents won't be caught short. So one thing I would ask is, what are we going to do, or what have we been doing with that dispensary money? If they cut the federal money off, we still should have this to fall back on. Thank you.
And this will be our last question.
Okay, we'll start with you, Mr. Reynaud. How do you feel the recently launched Real-Time Crime Center will impact public safety?
It's a good thing. All 4 of us candidates for this saw a briefing at La Posta, and it's all good news. They have professionals in there. They have the young kids that know how to work the stuff in there. So that's nothing but good news. That briefing, we're almost to full staffing. We're about 20 short, but it's all looking good.
Mr. Black, how do you feel the recently launched Real-Time Crime Center will impact public safety?
Well, I think it impacted a lot, especially with the help of the police. And some of the planes can get there. I'm sorry, the little rotator things can get there before the police get there, and it'll help them analyze. So not only will it help the public safety, but it also help the safety of the police. But once again, we need to make sure that we fund and keep all that stuff funded, because now somebody have to go to school for these things, and we got to make sure that they fund it. But did I love it? Oh yeah, I was in heaven. I love Star Wars. That's what it reminded me of when I saw the control room. So,
Mr. Muñoz.
I think it goes back to ensuring that our first responders, our firefighters, our police have the tools that they need. This is new technology that will help the police have eyes on the crime scene. They're able to determine if there are hot spots within the city. So it's smart policing. With that, I think that you look at, there could be issues. Wow, this seems very, very high tech, very different, very evasive. I remember my grandparents objecting to putting on seatbelts, right? And so they, once you knew that it would save lives and it would be for your safety, it was helpful too. But I think what I want to do is ensure that we're also monitoring that the technology is also used for good and is keeping the privacy of citizens in mind as well.
Thank you.
And that's all the time we have. Las Cruces City Council District 6 candidates Tommy Black, John Muñoz, and Richard Reynaud, thank you all for being with us. And the 4th candidate had to cancel at the last moment. And thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more candidate forums. And remember, you can watch all our forums and interviews at krwg.org as they are conducted. You can also find links to important voter information. I'm KC Counts, and I want to say thank you to my co-moderator from the League of Women Voters of Southern New Mexico, Julie Wojtka. Thank you for being with us. And we'll see you next time.